12 long years after its initial Japanese release, the critically acclaimed Legend of Heroes Trails from Zero finally has an official English localization. However, being the fourth entry in a long-running series bound by a grand overarching narrative and interconnected universe, leaves both noobs and newcomers alike asking the same question. Can you start here? Yes, you can. Hello, I'm Choopi, back in the clack. In this video, I'll be breaking down the reasons why you can start with Trails from Zero, as well as the reasons why you can't start with Trails from Zero. While my answer is still a definitive yes you can, looking at both sides of this argument will better inform you of what to expect if you decide to give this amazing game a try, as well as informing you why, regardless of your decision, purchasing this game is absolutely vital for the future of video games as a whole. And of course, I'll be keeping everything spoiler-free, so let's get right into it. Trails from Zero takes place in Crossbell, a city-state situated between two global superpowers who seek to claim sovereignty over its economy and people. This conflict and the main protagonists that find themselves navigating the ensuing political tension are far enough removed from the events of the first three games, which were isolated in the Liberal Kingdom, that they aren't really necessary to understand and enjoy the premise, the characters, and their motivations. That being said, everything in this series does take place sequentially within the same continent of Zemuria, and despite my recommendation, I think it's important to remember that going in. That means this world has already had 3 games worth of development in regards to its history, characters, lore, and terminology. Luckily, Trails from Zero does an admirable job of presenting all those aspects in a way that won't leave new players confused and in the dust. While the impact of certain characters and terminology will obviously be heightened for those who have played the previous 3 games, their context and function within the story of Trails from Zero will not. Despite many fans' insistence that you must play 3 full-length RPGs, a total average of about 120 hours, to get the best potential experience. At the end of the day, it's still one of the greatest JRPGs ever made, and I say that through the lens of it being enjoyed as an isolated experience. You don't need a primer to appreciate everything it has to offer. It's a game with an exceptionally riveting soundtrack, an engaging tactical combat system, an incredibly lovable and nuanced cast of characters, the best written dialogue in any video game, period, a dark, gritty, grounded, and believable plot, full of twists and unexpected revelations, and it's all wrapped up in an incredibly satisfying conclusion that will leave you wanting more. I don't know, if not playing 3 games is going to prevent someone from experiencing all of that, then skip them, and have fun playing the absolute peak of what this series has to offer. Okay, now that we have all that out of the way, it's time for me to drop this bullshit. I don't really want you to start with Trails from Zero. It's true, I'm actually a Trails elitist, a Trails fascist, a trashist, if you will. The breadcrumbs were always there, the clues right under your noses. Don't tell me you didn't notice the death threat addressed to Mitsuo Singa, stuck to my wall with used band-aids, or the dry cleaning bill for my well-loved Dakimakura pillow covers. I firmly believe there is only one correct way to enjoy the Trails series, and that is in release order. Your knee-jerk reaction is probably to label me as a gatekeeper. But is it really gatekeeping when I want everyone to enjoy every game in the best way possible? If anything, you're gatekeeping yourself from the truth! And the truth is that playing Trails from Zero will spoil you on one of the most notable reveals and plot twists on another one of the best games in the series, Trails in the Sky Second Chapter, or SC for short. All 3 of the games in the Sky trilogy are amazing in their own right, and just like Trails from Zero, they deliver a masterclass in character, dialogue, and narrative that you will not find in any other JRPG. Playing them in order, witnessing the story as it unfolds, without knowing the outcome, is an experience too powerful for me to not recommend. Furthermore, while I do stand by the statement that the majority of exposition in Trails from Zero is presented in a way that won't leave newcomers in the dark, there is one exception. One huge, purple, sentient exception. A 2-minute piece of dialogue at the end of the game which concludes a narrative thread started in SC and is arguably the most emotionally impactful scene in all of Trails from Zero. If you didn't play Trails in the Sky SC, this scene will mean absolutely nothing to you. If you have played that game, this scene will make you bawl like a fucking idiot. This is just one example of the payoff in playing these games sequentially. I understand for many, doing so is simply too much of a time investment, and I promise you, you will still have a great time if you start with Trails from Zero. However, I have never heard anyone who has made that commitment to playing the games in order say they've regretted that decision. Regardless if you decide to play Trails from Zero first, play the series in order, or not play any of the games at all, let me explain why supporting the official localization of Trails from Zero is still really important. Back in 2016, when this game had absolutely no foreseeable chance of ever being localized, due to both its niche market appeal and inhibiting script size, a group of volunteer fan translators known as the Geofront took it upon themselves to create one of the most thoughtfully crafted and feature-rich translations the world has ever seen. The product of more than 4 years of coordinated effort, these folks went above and beyond simply translating to get this game played by as many fans as possible. They created their own proprietary patch software, and even convinced Chinese storefronts to accept PayPal in order to create an accessible avenue for players to purchase and support the game legally. Fast forward to today, where that very same translation was purchased and is now the basis of this officially licensed product. Trails from Zero releasing on modern consoles in every storefront where video games are sold would not be happening right now if it weren't for the Geofront. In one way, it's the Geofront's original mission goal of making these games as accessible and enjoyable as possible coming into full fruition. In another, it goes beyond the Trails series and sets a precedent for the rest of the gaming industry that there is a market for seemingly unmarketable niche JRPGs, especially ones that already have complete and lovingly crafted translations that, due to nothing more than inaccessibility, currently are only being enjoyed by jobless basement dwellers such as myself. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments section. I'll be sure not to delete them. And speaking of lovingly crafted, these patrons. That includes everyone in the patron Discord. Thank you guys for pooping in a bucket with me. The Twitch streams this past year have been really fun. This whole year has been kind of a blast, and I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. Special thanks to Kelly and Derail for assets. Also, Faycat, Anton, Pizza Bagel, Hansuke21, OMG Floofy, and Rybos for script feedback. And I want to thank you for joining me on another quest to discover the mysteries of the emblem. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, stay frothy.